I feel like you're not listening to what I'm...
But that's not true.
Gandhi always said, be the change you want to see in the world.
It's like a drill.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't drink tobacco tea. I was like, oh, I could have told you that.
I mean, guns are good, right? Yeah.
Sorry, I rest my point.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I work part-time at the museum. Today I'm girt by 10 people that say that they're cool. My opening statement is people that don't wait for you to get on and off the train and just go in, they should be killed or sent to work camps. That's my opening argument.
Hi, I'm Tristan.
Hi, Tristan.
So it's interesting, you say you have to wait, right? For people to live, a bus, a tram, a car, whatever it is.
Yeah, train.
Train. Okay, so defensive. But we don't want to waste our time, right? How much time do you have a day? Is it just
24 hours.
Okay, so imagine a lot of that time gets taken away from having to wait.
Yeah.
You can push through, right?
Yeah, but my argument is that if we waited, then we would have more time.
No, but
It speeds everything up.
But then you have 20 people waiting, and they're losing time, right? Whereas if you can just push through, you can get through faster.
Yeah,
I don't have time to wait. I don't have time to wait. If I'm running a business, I'm running a business for having to make sure people when I'm there, I have to be there on time.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you waited, then the tram has to wait for everyone to get on.
But where is the tram?
Well, the tram or train or bus, it's wherever you want it to be.
Okay, but where specifically? I think that
the train station.
I think the fault lies here that there's not specificity here.
It doesn't matter what the specifics are. You should still be waiting for people to alight.
But so they light. So you light them on fire.
No,
that is malicious. I think that's malicious,
yeah. Okay.
And that is the problem here. Sorry, I rest my point.
Well, your point, I don't know what your point is. If we rush in, but the vehicle
that
is taking us somewhere has to wait for everyone. It's like people lining up to the plane to get in the plane. The plane.
So we're jumping
the
from
plane
a train to a plane.
When
not everyone can afford a plane. That's the problem is here. You're not thinking out there.
Clapping's not allowed. Clapping isn't allowed.
I think it's invalid, and honestly, I think it's disgusting.
Okay, I feel like you're not listening to what I'm...
But that's not true.
But you don't even...
So just to finish up...
Fundamentally, you and I disagree.
Well, I don't think... no, I agree with what you're saying. But just to finish up... I think you should think about what you're saying before you say it. Because there's a lot of people with feelings here, and you could hurt them.
Okay.
So just think about it.
Are you some kind of pussy? What, you can't get on a fucking... just get on the train.
No,
get on the train. You don't need to wait for people. No one needs to wait for anyone. If everyone at the same time went at the same time, then there would be no waiting. The problem is the people that are standing there on the train, right?
I'm saying that by waiting a little bit at the start, everyone gets where they're going quicker. The people going out. Have you ever left a train? Have you ever gotten out of a train?
When?
Have you ever you've stayed in a train?
Yes.
How did you get here?
I don't think that's relevant to the point that I'm trying to make right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
My
no,
point
I haven't been-
is
okay,
they
all right.
hate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
When you're leaving a car, how many doors do you operate?
It depends on the car.
A Ford Falcon AU Series 3.
Well, it's a 5. That's a 5-door.
It's a 1-door. When you leave a train, how many doors open?
Many.
2. 1 in, 1 out.
Okay. Listen, I think that in theory is an excellent idea. But in practice, you're dealing with people that are running late, that are people that are running in. You're going to get crossover in those doors.
That's not our problem. It was invented one in, one out. And if people don't use the system correctly, why should we all have to change the way we live our life?
Again, I don't...
It's like the toilet roll holder. Some people do it forward, some people do it backwards. It was meant to be placed forward so it rolls correctly. That is not our problem. If you're an inventor and you create it that way and people don't use the product correctly, how is that our issue?
I don't think doors or trains were invented like that.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Thank you.
I put the toilet roll on my fingers.
So you take the toilet roll off.
I don't have a toilet roll.
You don't have. You just sit it. You just sit on the cistern, or
yeah, on the back, and then I put it on my fingers and I roll off what I need. So so there are many ways.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but yeah.
What about if you choose to use a towel instead of toilet paper? You thought about that? Did that the other night.
I mean, I'm talking about trains.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, so I got on a train once. This was like 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for a train at Goodna train station, and my friend dared me to eat a cigarette's worth of tobacco. It was like $15, and it stung.
So you felt sick?
Yeah, and then my housemate, later in the year, he was German, and he got a whole pouch of tobacco, and he boiled it to make a tobacco tea. He drank that tea, and he fucking spewed up.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking spewed up, and he was like, it's not a good idea. Yeah.
My next argument is that it's okay to play music just straight from your phone in a public place.
I use a bidet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, no, so going back, sorry, hi, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Before, hi. So just going back to the train comment about if you're going to shoot people if they come off too quickly, or if they don't come off, if people go on. Sorry, I'm a bit flustered. But if they go on, if you're going back to that, I actually agree with that. Like, I'm different from these people. Like, I actually agree with that. But I'm like, how are we going to reinforce that? Like, I mean, sorry, not reinforce. Sorry. Obviously, yeah. But how are we going to enforce that? Right. So if is it going to be government spending on like tracking down people and shooting them in the head, or is there going to be are there going to be more of those police officers in there? So like logistically, how would we do that? So because I think you're not thinking about policy. You're thinking about your feelings. You're not thinking about policy. And when we're talking about like things like this and the structure of things like this, like we need to think about policy and government spending. Because I'm sick of my tax money going to things like hospitals and schools and stuff like that. And I actually wouldn't mind more of it going to guns and things like that.
Okay.
But I don't think we can get government to agree to that, because I feel like, you know, there's been this like wokeness and there's been like a lot of like, no offense, women.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah.
You definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Like.
Well, I mean, I think that this is great, and this is kind of what this is about. Like, we found that common ground. I think we
No,
can
this is not what this is about.
No,
at
I'm
all.
just saying.
'cause I
I'm just
don't-
saying
no.
that this is in the spirit of, because we all like guns, don't we? I mean, guns are good, right? Guns are the best. I love the idea of shooting is fun, and I feel powerful when I've got one. I feel like a big fucking man. Like I could do anything. I could take someone else's life in my own hands, you know, and that's powerful. And I don't have much else going on, and so I love that. It makes me feel like I'm in the movie. And so, what we need to do is give people guns so they feel like they're in the movie, and then they can come out and they be like, "Hey, you're not coming back on this train."
Yeah, like more of a cowboy kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't met a lot of men like you. I don't know if it's all the estrogen we're putting in the waters nowadays, but a lot of men have like smaller balls, whereas I can see that you got the big old sacks.
Yeah, I medically have big ones.
I can tell.
Yeah, they're too big.
Actually, yeah, lovely. I mean, agree to disagree. I
Yeah.
agree on some. Yeah.
Sure.
so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. No to music in public. No to noises. No to like chewing, babies, all of it. Public spaces should just be a place for. I'm sick of just the blight on the planet that is just other people.
Yeah, you want to get rid of them all.
Just let's start with the noise.
So you just want people to sneak?
Pardon?
Sneak?
Can they sneak around?
Yeah, that's my answer to you. I'm asking you this question. Do you think that people should be more sneaky?
Yeah, if it's gonna not infringe on like me and just trying to have a moment constantly, yeah, sure. Let's start there.
So are you comfortable with sneaking yourself? Because that's what would be asked. It wouldn't just be for everyone else to sneak. There would be sneaking. Sneaking goes both ways. You can sneak and you can snuff.
That's what I'm talking about. Then it starts infringing on what and me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would have to, as a member of the society. That's the contract that you enter into. Now, let me ask you this question: would you rather a sneakless?
A sneakless society?
Yeah, so where no one is sneaking.
So what we're living in now,
exactly.
where people are just like out and loud and
exactly.
just constantly. No, that's
exactly.
what I'm saying. I walk out the door, I've got a headache.
Yeah, so if we were to all agree collectively that we would be sneaky, we would sneak around, tippy toes, a little boom, 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 boom. That sort of like your
like cartoon mouse energy.
Yeah, exactly. And so if we were to be super sneaky like that, sneak around like little mice, then would that be something that you would be willing to try?
All I'm sick of is just the noise, the buzz, the chatter.
It never stops.
It never stops.
Yeah, and a drill. It's in your brain.
It is. It's like a drill.
Yeah.
It's like zzz,
yeah.
Zzz.
Yeah. Well, Gandhi always said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How you going?
Great, thank you. My name is Devon, and I guess I just want to say I think you have great ideas, but I think we're getting too complex here. I think, we talk about getting on trains, playing music, shooting people, cartoon energy, all this kind of stuff, okay? It's all it's OTT, over the top. We could simplify things. Getting on the train, playing music. We divide society up into specific groups. Some can, some cannot. There's a tier system, okay? Specific people in some groups, others in some groups. This group, they can party. This group, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you from?
From? Yeah. Joburg, South Africa. Yeah.
You live in Perth?
Yeah, I flew over for this.
From Perth?
Yeah. And the plane. I just wish it would feel better if everyone on the plane was more familiar to me.
I think you should be banned.